Hey, Cookies here. We're going to talk about finding the best guild for you. Finding a guild is very, very important, and I think everybody should do it, whether they plan to raid or not. I think being in a guild really is, at least for me, and I would think many others, it's what makes the game fun. There's been multiple expansions now where just because I've been in a guild, I remember the expansion fondly, and it doesn't matter that it's known as maybe like, some of the worst expansions ever. It was incredibly fun, and I would tell people that it's probably one of my favorite expansions just because of the memories of being in a guild and having people to play with that are like minded, and I enjoy being around. So being in a guild is really important. Whether you want to play super casually and never raid, or maybe you just want to dip your toes in occasionally and raid, um, or maybe you want to push, as far as you possibly can and see if you can get into like a top 100 guild and so on. It's really important, and I think guilds are what make the game last so long, and they make it fun for everybody. Um, so this is the steps that I would take to finding the right guild, because a lot of people just join guilds that they see in trade chat or the mass invite guilds. Those are you want to stay far and far away from those guilds. Finding a guild that is right for you is very important because not every guild is for every player, and not every player is for every guild. That's why mass inviting is so bad. So the first step is going to be using the World of Warcraft forums. This is how I would start if I'm just looking for something more casual, maybe, or I just am finding a guild for the first time and I don't have much experience yet. I haven't been in other guilds, I haven't raided yet. This is where I would start. So we're going to scroll down, you just go to the World of Warcraft forums until you see recruitment, and you're going to open guild recruitment. There is also, if you want to find something specific to your realm, you can see your realms listed down here. And let's just go to like Tichondrius, for example. So we have the guild recruitment forums, which is basically just a mass just forum for any guild on any server. So this is basically, look at this one if you don't mind server transferring. So if you don't mind having to transfer servers or even having to transfer, factions, but later on this isn't going to be a thing, so we won't have to really worry about factions anymore, you would go here. So we just look at this, and we're just basically going to read the titles and just see what they're about. So we have, 7 out of mythic, or 7 out of 10 mythic, 10 out of 10 mythic. So they look like they're semi-serious. Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 to 11 p.m. PST. So that's like a late night guild recruiting for Dragonflight. So you can just look. Usually I try to look for the ones that have their progression or experience, what they're trying to do basically. So like you have another one right here, 1 night 3-hour AOTC focused guild recruiting for Dragonflight. This is an amazing title. The only thing that's missing is the raid times, but then you can scroll over it and you see that they post their raid times right at the beginning, so it shows up on that hover. So that's like the important thing, is try to just look at the ones that have the name of their guild, how much they raid, what they're trying to accomplish, and when they raid. So you can just scroll through this. It updates constantly. So like if I refresh the page, there's probably already new ones at the top here. Nope, not yet, but that's okay. This was literally 5 minutes ago, so it does refresh very fast. So you can literally come in here like every couple hours and see entirely new guilds. You can also track it by new. If you've gone through a majority of them, you can then look at this new tab, and it will only show you ones that have been freshly posted, and aren't old posts that are just being bumped up from people replying to them. And then we have the realm specific ones. So this is if you're looking for, not, you don't want to switch realms, you want to stay where you are. Same thing with faction. You would just go to wherever your realm is, and then now we can filter it down. So now we have these guilds. So same thing, we're looking for the ones typically that have titles, but since they're all on the same realm, we can more freely kind of look at these because it's easy to know that they're on our realm and we don't need to consider that as a thing. So, um yeah, and then the other thing I would look for is, like, let's say we click on one of these, you want to look for good formatting, you want to look for, them explaining what they are trying to accomplish. You don't want to join a guild where they don't put any effort into the recruitment, because if they don't put any effort into the recruitment, how are they going to put any effort into actually running the guild? Because running a guild does take a certain amount of leadership skills, whether people like to admit that or not. So you do want to try to find a guild that has good leadership. That's the first step to being in a guild that's fun and enjoyable and that takes care of you essentially. All right, and then so that's the World of Warcraft forums. You can go through there. The next place that I would check is WoWProgress. This is usually if you're looking for a higher up guild and you're trying to kind of push yourself further. You work your way up the WoWProgress rankings essentially, but there are ways to find casual guilds on here too. So I will show both. So the first thing is we can filter it again by realm, or if we're just looking for we would basically go to our region. So we go guilds and teams, progress, US. This is if you're looking for like the best of the best guilds. And then all you would do is you could change the faction. So say I don't want to raid with an alliance guild, but again, factions aren't going to matter. So we'll leave that blank. We can say like, I want to join a guild that raids 4 times a week. And we'll just leave that. And then they're also looking for this particular class. So you can look for that. So you could go, let's say more realistically, guilds raid 3 days a week, and we want to find one that's looking for a druid. Say we're a resto druid. And then we get hit go, and now it's going to show every guild in order of their ranking of who's looking for a resto druid and raids 3 nights a week. And then we can just click on one of these. So let's say we go to Nerd Rage here, number 80. 11 out of 11 mythic. It shows when their kills were, all this stuff. We can just scroll down and it shows their recruitment priority. We can double check Resto Druid. There it is. And now we just read about them, when they raid, all this stuff. And then there's usually some kind of contact information at the bottom right down here. Submit an application. A lot of guilds will have that. All right, so now let's say we want to look for something a little more casual, right? So we just want to find, how about a guild that just raids 1 to 2 nights a week, and they're not looking for anything particular. So let's just hit go because we can play multiple characters, and then we would just hit next a bunch of times until we get to these later guilds that have less progress, certain raids and stuff like that. And then another thing you can do is just like the World of Warcraft forums, you can filter it by realm. So we can go here and we can go like up to the search bar at the top right and just go to like, let's go to a less populated realm. So let's go to something like Hyjal. Hyjal is like a pretty low pop Pacific realm, so West Coast. So now we can look here and we can go, okay, so this is the best guild on the server, and we kind of just work our way down. And now any of these guilds that have the R next to them means that they're actively recruiting. Sometimes guilds just don't put that there, so you can still check other guilds and still contact them. Probably fine, especially these lower guilds. But like here, these guys are just a AOTC guild, random playlist, and it looks like they're recruiting. So let's go to their thing. So now you read about them. Okay, they raid 2 nights a week for a total of 6 hours, Tuesday, Thursday. And 14-year-old guild filled with real-life friends that focuses on AOT each tier with a sprinkle of mythic. All-inclusive, chill, fun times. Awesome. For more in-depth information, reach out. And you just contact them. They don't have an app or anything like that, so you would just contact them. So that's how you use WoWProgress if you're looking for a guild. Both are completely reasonable. You can use both. The most important thing is just looking for guilds that actually provide good recruitment information. You don't want to try to contact guilds that don't put any effort into it. So look for guilds that are putting in the effort, and then something that fits or clicks with you and your mindset of what you're trying to accomplish in the game. You want to try to line yourself up with other people who have similar goals. And then lastly, we can use the recruitment Discord here. I'll have a link to it in the description. And essentially, you just assign yourself roles in the assign roles channel to fit whatever you're looking for. And then you scroll down. Again, they have specific recruitment for specific realms. And then they also have, if you scroll all the way down here, they have like, they filter it by US, 1 to 50 guilds. Maybe I'm just looking for a US 200 to 300 guild. That sounds about in, my range of where I want to raid. So you would go down here and you just start looking, oh, hey, it's my guild. And you would just basically go through these and look at when they last posted. There's also like a specific, they have more information in the Discord that you can read about of like actually filtering through tags and stuff so that you can see specific guilds. Um, and yeah, then you can even look at more. This is really nice for very specific stuff like the 1 day, because WoWProgress doesn't have a 1 day option, and the World of Warcraft forums also don't have filtering options for days of raids. So you can actually go in here and look. I want to find a guild that raids Mythic on a 1 day schedule, which is pretty rare. But you can go in here and see guilds that raid Mythic on a 1 day schedule. Because maybe we only have time to put in 1 day a week, and we want to still raid Mythic though. So this is where you would look at that. And then maybe you're like, I want to raid 2 days. I want to raid on the weekends. Horde Mythic Weekend. Same thing for AOTC. You can look for an AOTC guild that raids during the daytime, during the night, during the weekend. You just find whatever fits you, and then look for a guild that also fits your personality. So you're looking at for a guild that fits your needs first, and then that fits the personality or mindset that you're trying to, play the game with, because you want to find like-minded people. So those are the three main resources that I use. Is again, World of Warcraft forums, WoWProgress, and the Recruitment Discord. There are other resources. Warcraft Logs has a recruitment page now where you can like set up a profile and it will find guilds that match your profile. Raider.io has something very similar, so you can check out all that stuff. But these are the three main ones that I would recommend looking at. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.